with obviously the big topic with all of us has been your knee. To come out and have this game, to play the way you did, do you feel any sort of like vindication or satisfaction or anything like that, knowing that the plan that you had in place seems to be working and you had this performance to win a playoff game?
What's the question?
Do you feel any kind of personal satisfaction or vindication that the thing worked?
No, why would I? It's another game to be played.
Jaylen, you talk pretty often about just fast starts, wanting to kind of, impose your physicality on the other team. Obviously, game one, you kind of talked about just watching a little bit at the beginning. I guess how did tonight kind of go? You got off to a fast start, and how did that kind of set the tone for the rest of the night?
Yeah, I mean, it was a physical game all night long. For me, just getting my jumper going, I think that kind of opened some stuff up. And just, playing the game, that's it, getting to my spots. It come down to it. It was just, making plays for my team. It wasn't too many X's and O's, It just came down to making plays. I think going into the next game, we got to find ways to improve the efficiency of our offense a little bit. And I think we'll look at that and see which ways we can get better at like 10 or 15 possessions where we had some, some wasted possessions. But great effort from our team to pull out a win.
Good. Jaylen, how in general do you approach games when Jason's not going to play, when you know he's not going to be out there with you, and how specifically did that affect your mindset going into tonight's game and your plan?
Just no different. Obviously, JT is, the offensive leader of our team. We all kind of play off of him. But, any given night, I could, rise to the occasion. I just do what the team needs me to do. I've taken that mentality, and I think sometimes people, think that's like the only thing that you can do. So, tonight I got lucky, I guess. But we'll be ready for the next one.
Why do you say you got lucky tonight?
Made some shots, some tough baskets, but we got to be better for Game 3.
Joe said that you went up to him yesterday and said, hey, I'm going to do whatever it takes to win tomorrow. What kind of compelled you to do that, and what did that look like for you on the court?
It's the playoffs. What am I supposed to say? Was I supposed to say something different?
No, but he just said you made a point of coming up to him. It sounded like something that doesn't usually happen, that you went up and just said, hey, tomorrow night I'm doing whatever it takes.
Yes, sir.
So what does that look like for you on the court?
That's every night. You know what I mean? It's the playoffs. It's win or go home. We got a lot of people that, cheering for us. It's a lot of people around the organization that put a lot of energy and effort in every single night. It's whatever it takes.
Jaylen, do you and the guys inside the locker room take exception to Orlando thinking they can beat you guys with physicality?
We should, yeah. I think so. And Orlando's a good team. I give credit to them. They play hard, and they don't go away. And they are very physical, and they're a good defensive team. So we do get up for that challenge. But, we got to stay in the fight. And on the road, it's going to be even more of a test. So tonight, we did enough, but there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. We've got to be able to adjust and adapt quickly and get ready for Game 3. Every game has its own story. This game was one, last game was another story, and the next one's going to be something else. We just got to be the ones telling that story rather than the ones, watching it or listening to it.
And then the legend of Kristaps continues to grow. Joe, partially joking, said, I love watching him bleed on the court. What does that do for you guys when he has those moments?
That's great. It's a great sign. KP battled all night. He had, physical possessions, timely baskets, and he probably left a couple baskets that, he had on the table, but, he came out and competed, and that's what we want to see. So even through injury, even through, blood everywhere, I feel like that fires KP up even more. So we're looking to get him going on these road games because I feel like he can change the series at any point in time. He didn't shoot the ball well tonight. He was 0 for 5 from 3, but we know how good of a shooter he is. So trying to find ways to get him going on the road would be key.
Jaylen, we've heard a lot from your teammates about your Warriors mindset. How would you describe what that is to those of us that just kind of hear that term but don't necessarily know exactly what that means? Kristaps has referred to you with that a couple of times.
It's just faith, consistency, hard work pays off. Just something I've lived by, since the beginning. I think my first interview with Boston, I said I was going to go to war for this city, and I don't think nothing has changed. So whatever it takes every single night, you leave it out there, and you hope for the best.